Welcome to the deep dive. If you're here, it's because you want to get the essence of important topics, and well, you want to get it quickly. Today, we're doing just that. We're giving you a kind of curated tour through 12 really key Buddhist scriptures.
Right. And the idea isn't to overwhelm you. Think of it more like a shortcut, hitting the highlights, the core wisdom of each text.
Exactly. We've looked at the history, the descriptions of these texts.
Yeah, we've sifted through it to pull out the most important and interesting bits.
Our mission really is to get you a solid, insightful intro, maybe some surprising facts along the way, make these ancient texts feel a bit more relatable.
Let's jump in then.
Okay, first up, the Muth, Āgama Sūtras. The name, Gama. What does that tell us?
Well, it means something like traditional teachings or collected teachings, and that's pretty much what they are. These are fundamental, really early Buddhist scriptures.
Foundational, so like the starting point.
In many ways, yes. The core ideas, people think, were set around the first Buddhist council. But here's the interesting part.
They weren't actually written down until much, much later. Maybe around the 1st century BCE.
Wow. So centuries of just oral transmission.
Exactly. Imagine that. Passed down person to person for hundreds of years before being committed to writing. It really makes you think about how traditions evolve.
It really does. So what's in these collected teachings? What are the core ideas?
They really lay the groundwork. You've got the Four Noble Truths, the whole suffering and how to end at peace.
Right, the basics.
Eightfold Path, the practical steps. Then there's the 12 links of dependent origination, which explains that cycle of existence.
Dharma, rebirth.
All of that. Plus ethics, how to govern, stories about the Buddha and his disciples, generosity, patience. It's pretty comprehensive for early Buddhism.
Okay, so a broad picture. How is it all, organized?
The Chinese translations, which are key, split them into 4 main groups. The long Agama, middle Dhamma, miscellaneous Agama, and incremental Agama. Basically sorting them by length and theme. Makes it a bit easier to navigate. Got it. Okay, moving on to the Yuto Sutra of 42 chapters. This one has a special claim to fame, doesn't it?
It does indeed. It's traditionally seen as the first Buddhist scripture ever translated into Chinese. That's a huge historical marker.
The very first one. Who did the translation?
2 Indian monks, Kayapa Matanga and Dharmaratna, back in 67 CE during the later Han Dynasty.
67 CE. Wow. That's early.
It marks that first major step of Buddhism entering Chinese culture. Really pivotal.
And 42 chapters. Sounds shorter than the Agamas. What's the focus here?
Yeah, it's much more concise. That's actually one of its key features. It was probably meant as an introductory text.
Makes sense.
Covers the basics again, but in short, digestible sections. Karma, suffering, why detachment matters, generosity, ethics, meditation, and the 4 stages or fruits of the path for monks.
So like a primer for someone new to Buddhism in China back then.
Exactly. Short, direct, easy to grasp the fundamental ideas. Its conciseness probably helped it spread.
Right. Okay, next we have the Dhammapada, Words of Truth. I like that name.
Me too. It has a real ring to it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
This one was compiled by an elder named Dharmatrata back in India. He gathered verses from different early scriptures.
So it's a collection.
A collection, yes. The Chinese version we often use was translated later, during the 3 Kingdoms period, by Zhu Jiangyan and Ziqian.
And what makes the Dhammapada special? Why is it so well known?
I think it's the way it's put together. It's organized by themes, and the verses themselves are often quite poetic, philosophical, but also very practical. They cover ethics, mindfulness, the nature of the mind, the path. It's wisdom you can really apply.
So it's not just abstract concepts, it's about how to live.
Very much so. It was a key introductory text in India, and even today, for Theravada Buddhists, it's often a daily read. It's got this universal quality,
Yeah, I can see that. Okay, let's shift gears a bit. The Buddhist Sutra. This one gets called the King of Sutras in Mahāyāna Buddhism. That's quite a title.
It is, and it really signals the scale and depth here. The full name means something like Great and Vast Buddha Garland Sutra.
A garland?
Yeah, the image suggests this beautiful, intricate weaving together, the interconnectedness of everything. All the Buddhas, their teachings, their perfect qualities. It's the foundational text for the Huayan school.
Huayan.
Yeah.
They're known for that idea of interconnectedness, right?
Exactly. The Avatasaka Sutra just dives deep into that. It paints this picture of a universe where everything reflects everything else. Everything is interdependent. Profound stuff.
Wow.
And it also talks about the mind's infinite potential and how generating bodhicitta that wish to become enlightened for everyone can be a swift path.
Bodhicitta, right. And there are different versions of this text.
Yes, 3 main Chinese translations. There's the 60 Huayan, the 80 Huayan, that's the most popular one, and the 40 Huayan.
And the 40 Huayan includes something specific.
It does, the Samantapadra's vows. Really important.
What are those about?
They're the 10 great vows of a bodhisattva, big commitments to compassionate action. And interestingly, one vow is about aiming for rebirth in the Western Pure Land.
Huh. So it connects these deep philosophical ideas with Pure Land practice?
It's just a link, yeah. The sutra often describes Buddha teaching in these amazing celestial realms right after enlightenment. It's majestic, boundless. You can see why it's called the king.
Definitely. Okay, next, the Yunyu, Vajracchedika Prajnaparamita Sutra, better known as the Diamond Sutra.
That's the one, Vajracchedika Diamond Cutter. The name itself suggests its power.
Power to cut through what?
Illusion, attachment. The wisdom it presents is said to be sharp enough, like a diamond, to cut through our mistaken ideas about reality. Kumarajiva did a brilliant translation of this.
And the core teaching is?
Emptiness. The idea that nothing, no person, no object, no phenomenon has a fixed, independent, inherent existence. Everything is like an illusion or a dream.
Emptiness. That can sound a bit negative or abstract.
It's not meant to be nihilistic. It's more about seeing the lack of solid, permanent self-nature. The sutra says a bodhisattva should practice things like generosity without getting attached to the idea of, I am giving, this is being given, or they're receiving. It's about acting with a free mind.
Free from attachment.
Exactly. And it really emphasizes the huge merit you get from reciting the sutra, understanding it, sharing it.
And it's super important for Zen Buddhism, right?
Absolutely foundational for Zen. That focus on direct insight, non-attachment, seeing the illusory nature of things, it resonates perfectly with Zen principles. Hugely influential text.
Okay, related to that, we have the Ilo Sutra, Prajnaparamita Hadai Sutra, the Heart Sutra.
Yes, the Heart Sutra. The heart means the core, the absolute essence.
Essence of what?
The essence of all those extensive Prajnaparamita, or perfection of wisdom, teachings like the Diamond Sutra and the huge Mahaprajnaparamita Sutra we'll get to later.
Gotcha.
Xuanzang translated this one. And it's famous for being incredibly short, only about 260 Chinese characters.
260 characters, that's tiny. How can it be so important?
Because it packs such a punch. It basically distills the whole concept of emptiness. Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva explains how the 5 aggregates form, feeling, perception, formations, consciousness, basically everything that makes up our experience are ultimately empty of inherent existence.
So realizing that emptiness is the key.
Realizing that is what leads beyond suffering. It's like a laser beam cutting straight to the core insight. That's probably why it's chanted constantly everywhere in so many Buddhist traditions. Short, powerful, profound.
Amazing. Okay, let's shift focus a bit towards the Pure Land texts. First, the Mahāyāna Sutra, or the smaller Sukhavati Sutra.
Right. Another translation by Kumarajiva. This one focuses squarely on Amitabha Buddha and his Western Pure Land, Sukhavati.
And what does it teach about it?
It describes the incredible beauty and merits of this Pure Land. And crucially, it says that if you single-mindedly chant Amitabha's name with deep faith, you can be reborn there. It's presented as a realm perfectly suited for easily achieving enlightenment. So it's a path based on faith and recitation.
A more devotional path, then?
Yes, very much so. It's one of the 3 core texts for the Pure Land School, which is hugely popular, especially in East Asia. It offers a very accessible route.
Okay, then there's the Sukhavati Vyuha Sutra, the larger Sukhavati Sutra. Larger suggests more detail.
Exactly. This one, translated by Kang Senkai, gives the backstory. It tells the tale of Amitabha when he was a bodhisattva named Dharmakara.
Dharmakara.
And it details the 48 specific vows he made. Vows to create this perfect Pure Land, and vows about how he would help beings get there.
48 vows. That's incredible dedication.
It really is. It spells out the Pure Land splendors, the requirements for rebirth, even different levels you can attain there. It's a much fuller picture than the Amitabha Sutra.
And I read something about a modern compilation.
Oh, right. Xie Lianzhu, a modern master, actually created a composite version by weaving together 5 different translations of this sutra. It shows how vital this text remains.
Interesting. And the third, Pure Land text.
Yes, the Satya, Amita Yurdhyana Sutra, the Contemplation Sutra. The name gives it away. Dhyana means meditation or contemplation.
So this one focuses on practice.
Precisely. Translated by Kalliasis, it recounts Buddha teaching Queen Vaidai. He teaches her about cultivating 3 kinds of merit, and then 16 specific visualizations.
16 ways to visualize the Pure Land.
Yes, detailed visualization practices, contemplating the setting sun, imagining the water, the ground, the jeweled trees, Amitabha himself, his attendants. It's a step-by-step guide to focusing the mind and using meditation to gain rebirth in the Pure Land.
So it provides the how-to for meditation within this tradition.
Right. It completes that trio of core Pure Land Sutras by offering these very practical meditative methods.
Okay, nearly there. Let's talk about the Third Saddharmapuccarika Sutra, the Lotus Sutra, another really major one.
Hugely influential. Again, translated by Kumarajiva. The name Wonderful Dharma Lotus Flower Sutra is evocative. The lotus grows in mud, but blooms pure white.
Symbolizing
enlightenment, arising even amidst the defilements of ordinary life, samsara. It's a beautiful image.
And the main message of the Lotus Sutra.
It's really about the Buddha revealing his ultimate purpose, which is to show that all beings have the potential for Buddhahood. It introduces the idea of the one vehicle. All the different paths taught by the Buddha ultimately lead to the same goal of full enlightenment.
Universal potential.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it also talks about the Buddha being eternal, not just the historical figure, and the immense saving power of bodhisattvas like Avalokiteshvara. There's a whole chapter on Avalokiteshvara, the Universal Gate chapter, describing how he manifests in countless ways to help those who call out to him. It's incredibly popular, widely recited on its own. The Lotus Sutra is fundamentally optimistic. That's a great way to put it. Okay, number 11. The Eni Yero Vimalakirti Nirdisha Sutra, the Vimalakirti Sutra. This features a layperson, right? Not a monk. Exactly. That's what makes it so unique. Vimalakirti, again in Kumarjiva's translation, is this wealthy, incredibly wise layman. He basically embodies the Mahāyāna ideal, but in the world.
And the story involves debates.
Lots of them, especially with Manjushri, the bodhisattva of wisdom. Vimalakirti uses his sharp intellect and, frankly, his profound understanding to challenge some of the more rigid or arguably limited views of some of the Buddha's other disciples. He champions this idea of being deeply engaged in life, but also transcendent.
So enlightenment isn't just for renunciants in caves.
Not at all, according to this sutra. Vimalakirti shows that profound realization, this inconceivable liberation, is possible right in the midst of ordinary lay life. It's another text that's been very important for Zen. The idea of a householder schooling the experts is pretty radical. It really is. Okay, our final text, the Triya Mahaprajnaparamita Sutra, the Great Perfection of Wisdom Sutra. Sounds like the culmination. It's certainly the most extensive collection on this theme. 600 volumes in Xuanzang's translation. It's monumental.
600 volumes. Wow. What's the overarching theme?
It all comes back to Prajnaparamita, the perfection of wisdom. It systematically explores the core teaching we touched on with the Heart and Diamond Sutras. Emptiness.
Right. That all phenomena lack inherent existence.
Exactly. It argues that everything is dependently arisen, interconnected, ultimately like an illusion. True understanding, true freedom comes from directly realizing this through prajna and through wisdom.
And how does one cultivate that wisdom?
By practicing the 6 perfections, generosity, ethics, patience, effort, meditation, and wisdom itself, plus various other practices, but always with this understanding of non-attachment and with great compassion. It kind of gathers all the paths under the umbrella of wisdom. Its sheer size reflects just how central this teaching is.
Okay, and we have 2 more I wanted to squeeze in quickly if we can. The Senya Sadhina Sutra.
Ah, yes. Very important. Translated by Xuanzang as well. This is the foundational text for the Yogacara school, also known as the consciousness-only school.
Consciousness only.
Right. It delves deep into, well, how the mind works, the different layers like the 8 consciousness, the idea of the 3 natures of reality. It explores how our perception shapes our reality. Very psychological in a way.
Fascinating. And the last one, the Śūraṅgama Sutra.
Another major one, especially influential in Chinese Buddhism, impacting both Zen and Pure Land.
Okay.
Translated by Paramiti. Its core idea is about the eternal true mind, this pure nature that underlies everything.
Okay.
The story starts with Ananda getting caught in an illusion, and the Buddha teaches him and everyone else about how the mind works, how illusions arise, the stages of the bodhisattva path, potential pitfalls in meditation, even demonic states.
Wow, it covers a lot.
It really does. It talks about the Śūraṅgama Samadhi, a powerful state of concentration, and the 25 perfect penetrations, different ways enlightened beings achieved realization. It's a really comprehensive map of the mind and the path.
Phew. Okay, that was quite a journey through, what was it, 14 texts in the end?
I think so. From the earliest teachings to these incredibly vast Mahāyāna scriptures, each one really does offer a different facet, a unique angle on Buddhist thought and practice.
Absolutely. And hopefully for everyone listening, this deep dive gives you that solid foundation we talked about. You've got the key takeaways now, the essential ideas, without getting lost in the weeds.
Right. You've got the roadmap, so to speak.
So maybe take a moment now and think, which one of these descriptions, which text, kind of resonated with you? Was it the practical advice of the Dhammapada, the devotional path of the Āgama Sutra, the profound emptiness of the Heart Sutra?
Or maybe the interconnectedness of the Avatasik.
Okay.
Or the late practice focus of Vimalakirti.
Yeah. Maybe one of them sparked something, a curiosity to look a little deeper. How might these ancient ideas, shed light on your own life, your own way of seeing things?
It's worth pondering.
We really hope this overview was useful, maybe even a little intriguing, giving you that efficient insight you were looking for.